3 years ago, Nottingham Forest were 18th in the Championship, and even at the end of last season, they did look like they were going to be relegated. Today, Forest are third in the Premier League. Hello and welcome back to INMR, where in today's podcast we're going to be talking all about Nottingham Forest and their incredible start to the Premier League campaign. It's been quite a turnaround for Nuno's side, so I'm going to explain exactly how he's done it. With a quarter of the season gone, Forest currently sit third on 19 points, more than half of their total from last season, which was 32. Forest's form will surely drop off at some point, but for now this is pretty incredible stuff. But how did they turn it around? Making Forest more difficult to beat was Nuno's priority in the summer, and he's done that pretty well to say the least. They've lost just one game this season, which was a 1-0 defeat to Fulham at the City Ground. One notable trend of their games this season is how close they've been. Their 3-1 victory over Leicester was the first time Forest had won or lost by more than a 1-goal margin. They did this again at West Ham, but aside from that it's been pretty close contests. They also rarely go behind in games, spending just 8% of time behind this season. Only Arsenal spent less time trailing with 5%. Away from home they're unbeaten, and only league leaders Liverpool have earned more away points in the Premier League this season than Forest. One of the messages Nuno Santo says to his players is if you're on the bench you can still expect to make an impact. Everyone has a role to play. In a press conference a couple of weeks ago, he said, "The game has moved on. Even if you play 1 minute, you can have an impact. This is our philosophy." Nuno's use of subs this season has been very interesting. In 10 games, he's used all 5 subs on 9 occasions, and overall he's made 49 out of 50 possible changes in the Premier League. Nuno's best use of subs came at Anfield when he brought on Callum Hudson-Odoi and Anthony Elanga. Elanga claimed the assist for Hudson-Odoi's strike, which resulted in Forest beating Liverpool 1-0. Elliot Anderson has made a positive impact at Forest since his arrival and has quickly become one of the club's most important players. His adaptability in midfield and technical skills have strengthened the team, and his passing ability and defensive contributions have impressed both fans and pundits. Nuno has noticed Anderson's effective integration into Forest's playing style, showcasing his growth and versatility at such a young age. Anderson has played multiple positions in the midfield for Forest, contributing minutes as both a central and attacking midfielder. His distribution of minutes highlights his versatility and value to them, with Nuno experimenting to maximise Anderson's impact across different areas of play. Anderson ranks among the top dozen players in the Premier League for assists, completed dribbles, successful attempts to put a teammate through on goal, and ground duels won per 90 minutes, a set of metrics that hint at the wide range of his skill set. His opportunities have come out wide and in the middle, in a deeper role and more recently going forwards. Nuno's convinced that giving Anderson a variety of responsibilities will encourage him to develop versatility and overall make him a better player. So in terms of their tactics, Forest defend in a 4-2-4 formation, setting up in a mid-block to force the opposition wide. The back four stays compact, with fullbacks covering wide areas and centre-backs maintaining a solid shape. Forest have the second best defensive record in the league, conceding just 7 goals this season. They do this by often bringing 8 players back to limit space in the penalty area. Midfielders drop deep to support the defence, creating 2 close lines. The focus on blocking, shooting lanes, crowding the box and forcing opponents to take low percentage shots from distance or wide areas allows Forest to regain possession and transition quickly. Goalkeeper Matt Sells has played his part too, preventing 1.1 goals with his saves, but the players in front of him are largely to thank. Forest have made just 4 errors leading to shots this season, the second best record in the league behind Liverpool. From the graphic on screen, you can see that Forest's opponents have the lowest non-penalty shot conversion rate and the lowest non-penalty XG per shot. Forest have also made the second most clearances in the league with 240, behind Leicester with 266. Pressing-wise, Nuno's not interested. Last season, Forest had the highest passes allowed per defensive action with 17.7, and this means that Forest allowed the opposition to make on average 17.7 passes before they even made an attempt to win the ball back. What's so interesting about Forest's success is that their tactical approach doesn't rely on possession or pressing at all. Only Everton have averaged less possession in the league this season than Forest. Everton are also the only side with a lower pass accuracy than Forest, and they've recorded fewer ball carries than Forest too. On a basic level, it seems like Nuno's side are playing very similar football to Everton, so why are they third while Sean Dyche's men sit 16th? The secret is how well they're doing in individual battles. Forest have won 52.7% of their duels this season, a percentage only bettered by Brentford by 0.3%. They are also second for their ground duels won with 53.4%, with only Man City beating them with 53.7%. Going forward, Nuno uses Wood to link the play when trying to break down the opposition's defence. He likes to create central overloads when attacking the opposition, and therefore often wants Wood to drop from his striker position into the midfield. When the striker drops, Forest unlock more ways of beating the opponent's defence. For example, they can pass the ball to the striker, who can find a central midfielder behind the opposition's midfield line, allowing the midfielders to take the ball forward and attack the opposition's defence. Nottingham Forest's second goal against Brighton came from a situation like this. Wood drops at first to link the play, allowing Forest to find a central midfielder in between the lines, leading to a 2v1 against the goalkeeper, which Ramon Sosa converted easily. Since joining Forest just under a year ago, Nuno has worked wonders, and as you can see from the team style comparison on screen, this is due to Forest's fast and direct attacks. They're up there with Bournemouth and Everton as one of the league's most direct sides. When you have someone like Chris Wood leading the line, it does make sense to get the ball up to him as fast as you can. Since Nuno took over, only Erling Haaland has scored more non-penalty goals than Chris Wood's 16. It's a good job that Wood is in the form of his life, because other than him, Forest have no other clear goal outlet. He's scored 8 of Forest's 14 goals this season from a personal XG of just 4.5. So let's talk a bit more about Chris Wood, because he's been outstanding and is working really well alongside Nuno, as you can see from this goal scoring record per manager. At the minute, he's more clinical than he ever has been under any other manager. Wood has always thrived in sides that get players behind the ball before attacking at speed, which is very much Forest's approach in a 4-2-3-1 shape. Wood is best with wingers beside him and is also excellent at putting defenders under pressure with deceptively powerful runs. This was seen against both Chelsea and Leicester when he ran onto long balls before scoring. His precise shooting has been key this season, finding the target with 81.25% of his shots. Of all players to have registered at least 15 unblocked shots on goal, Wood ranks highest for efficiency. A total of 58 players in the Premier League have attempted more shots per 90 than Wood, yet only Erling Haaland has scored more goals. No Premier League side is more reliant on a forward than Forest are on Wood. He is an obvious threat in the air, but only 3 of his 8 goals this season have been headers, outlining just how well-rounded and versatile he is in front of goal. So there you have it. That is how Nuno turned Nottingham Forest from relegation survivors to a side potentially chasing Europe. That is where we're going to end today's podcast, but there are plenty of others you can go and listen to. For extra content, be sure to check out my website INMRfootball.co.uk. On there you can find match reports, live blogs, club updates and so much more. And if that's not enough, INMR is also on X and Instagram, so you can go and follow me on both of those platforms for even more daily football content. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.